Welcome to True Stories Night. On True Stories Night, we take real stories as told on Classic Moments with Mo and see how they apply to life today. On tonight's episode, we're talking theatre. Acting on stage is seen by many as prestigious and exclusive. For actors, it's a mark of pride to tread the boards. In fact, some think you aren't a true actor unless you've done some stage. But aside from that, something that stage plays do is teach. They teach about culture, about the human condition, about life. We'll be talking about theatre as a voice for change and the growth of this special form of art. But first, let's take a walk down memory lane in our classic episode.
Theatre has evolved from the passionate wish of a people to express ideas to their colleagues, friends, children, and the general populace as a whole.
Nigeria's theatre history can't be talked about without mentioning the great Hubert Ogunde, whom many consider the father of Nigerian theatre. His work inspired many, including one of today's Nigerian stage and film icons, Joke Silva.
When I was pretty young, probably before the age of 10, going to the Glover Hall and watching Ogunde. And, watching him on stage with Yadudu and Yafufu, the dancing, the theatre, and Ogunde, and that fantastic voice of his, yes, that would be the next one.
It sounds wonderful. I mean,
it was
those
magical.
are things that we've missed. We don't seem to have a lot of it anymore. But how did you get into theatre? I mean, obviously it's one thing going to the theatre and loving Ogunde, but then you sort of taking that bold step and saying you want to do theatre?
Well, I think, it was after my A-levels and the family kind of realized that was what I wanted to do. And I applied to the University of Ibadan. Actually went to see Adeluba and Uncle Bayo Duneye, but I was late. My application was late, and my father thought, fantastic. So, okay, go and work in this industry that you love so much, and was really hoping that I'd get turned off. And so I joined the Unilag performing cultural troupe, the cultural center, and we were working with Bode Osoyin of blessed memory, and that was my first steps.
Welcome back. Africa's storytelling culture is legendary, and the stage is one tool we use to tell our stories. But more than just sharing stories, we have used theatre for commentary, to warn and to teach. From James Ene Henshaw's plays, Wole Soyinka's The Trials of Brother Jero, to the Ghanaian traditional plays about Anansi the crafty spider, to Sierra Leone's Creole plays like Titi Shine Shine, theatre is more than just entertainment. Joining me is somebody who is more than just an actress. Even though she's been successful in film, stage was and is her first love. So welcome to Lala Akindoju. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome.
So something that you've done, I'm not sure if everybody knows, but open mic theatre is something that you've done. So tell us a little bit about open mic theatre and why you felt that it was important for stage to sort of re-emerge, as it were.
Okay. So I started open mic theatre in 2011, and that year was really peculiar because I had been doing theatre for 5 years strictly, and then I won this award in 2010, and then it was the Future Awards, and then everything went silent. It was like nothing was happening, and it felt like an anticlimax. So in 2011, I wasn't getting any work. I had stopped working where I used to constantly perform, and I was done with my master's. Nothing was happening, and I was getting frustrated. And I used to hang out at this place called the Lifehouse, and Ugoma said to me, Lala, what are you doing here? There's space, do something. And I said, I don't have power to produce yet. I don't have money. I have suffered under producers. I don't want to work. I don't want to call anybody to work and not pay them, because theatre is very peculiar. And she said, hey, just do something now. Do something. There's space. It can be an open mic format. And I was like, hey. And then I said, okay, open mic theatre. Okay, just get people to perform. And then I knew that something Tarua used to happen. And I used to go to Tarua. And I realized I was the only actor who would perform at Tarawa. There were musicians and the spoken word artists who were up and coming and showcasing their talent. But I would be the only actor. There were poets, but I'll be the only actor doing a monologue or something. And I'm like, there's nowhere that at least I knew at the time where actors just came to perform and rub off each other. Nowhere where up and coming. So I used to teach, and I still teach at the Lifodo Academy of Performing Arts. And my students wouldn't have a place to get rid of their nerves, to, you know, just break in, you know what I mean? And I'm like, there's nowhere, and who's going to give you a job when you don't have experience? So I'm like, we need to create a platform like that, and then a one-stop shop for talent. Working as a casting director also, sometimes you don't need auditions, but directors need to be able to see talent, and then the already established actors need to know what's going on, need to see that, hey, young people are coming up, if you don't, you know. And so it was born, and I remember the first one, I just called anybody and everybody that I knew, and I said, you know, come and perform something from something you've done before, because I didn't want to stress anybody else. And it was such a hit. And everybody was like, wow, wow, wow. And you know, we now started to grow, and then I started to create themes, and people's careers literally were born through open mic theatre.
Right. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take a very quick break, but we'll be right back. Please stay with us. What is the support that the sector needs to grow? I mean, with all these challenges for the smaller independent practitioners and producers, what is it that the sector needs to take it, you know, to the next step, really?
Okay, I don't mean to belabor the obvious. We've always talked about government funding, so I'll just not talk about it, but I'll go into other things. So it's a good thing that the Lagos State government has taken the initiative to say we're going to build 6 theatres in Ekpe, Alimosho local government, Ikorodu, and the other 3 places. But my fear is that we shouldn't be the reactionary kind of people where it's only when there's a problem and we're trying to. We should be proactive. We should create something so that it's structural. It grows gradually. True. There are no venues, and they're creating venues for practitioners to access. So the question will be, can they actually access that space when it comes to be? The other thing should be subsidy. There's nowhere in the world that arts and culture is not subsidized. You know, government funding, tax, you know, trusts, and venture capitalists, and anybody who, you know, who's just partial to the arts, they put something in there. It's very difficult for independent production companies to produce work and, you know, want to present work to the kind of people that the target audience, and yet they cannot reach them to come and see the work. It's very, very heartbreaking. That's why they say theatre is elitist.
Yeah.
It's because of production costs and how producers must produce work so that at least they break even, at least, so that passion will meet, you know, the end game. Yes, in the end.
My final question to you would be about the future of theatre. Now, with all these challenges that you've mentioned, despite improvements, there are areas where there really needs to be more support, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you see the future in terms of, for example, improving? Do you see improvements happening if there are more, for example, cross-cultural collaborations like the British Council and what they're doing and exchanging ideas and information? Do you see a new breed of talent that's growing that might be able to have the energy to push it? Like, where do you see improvements even coming from? Which areas do you see them coming from?
I think that in a lot of ways, the Lagos Theatre Festival, we've figured out a plan for learning and development so that, you know, there's a ripple effect in coming to be part of the festival or participating in the festival, so that you can also go back and teach and improve on yourself and improve on other people. In 2015, we looked at the existing platforms, the open mic theatre, the Tarawa, who had a collaboration with venues, and also had a platform where people or artists could exhibit their work. And we went on a tour to Brighton Fringe in the UK. And, you know, we went there because we wanted to understand their system and also to see how we could improve on our own when we got back here. So Nala, who was the head of the open mic, and Lydia Idakula Shobogun, who heads Taruwa. Myself, festival director, there was Brenda, festival producer, and a couple of other people. We went to that place. We saw other festivals, saw other platforms, existing platforms abroad, who, without government intervention, have in some way looked for ways to beat the system. So we sort of copied the template and adapted it here.
Thank you so much, Kenneth.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, theatre culture has evolved from telling stories in the town square in the old days to now in more modern spaces, unconventional as they may be, with the added benefit of technology and collaboration helping us take our stories to the world. People with a passion for theatre, like Bolanle Austin Peters, have helped grow the sector, creating new infrastructure like the Terraculture Arena. New talents continue to emerge. Most importantly, the stories, old and new, are moving across and beyond Africa, giving new audiences the chance to learn from us as we entertain them. But this is not enough. From our classic episode till now, those in the industry complained about a lack of government support and infrastructure to boost the sector because private individuals just cannot do all the work. That was true then, and it's true now. It's certainly a story we all hope has a happy ending. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Lamide Akintobi. Remember, True Stories Night continues, so don't change the channel. Thank you.